Hello, welcome back to Tarot by Lodestone Productions, where we help you discover your true north. I am Aditi, and this is me not shuffling. Is a message for whenever this message reaches you, because Spirit is not bound to our time and space continuum, and so the only time by which we tell time is divine time. Dig what I'm saying? So let's check our spiritual voicemail and see what's what. Shall we do let's? Here we go. So when I was pre-shuffling, the message that came through was, don't mind me, I'm just disassociating. Y'all. If that has not been your neighborhood friendly tarot reader as of late, I'll pay you. Jeez Louise. The disassociation has been thick round these parts. The Hierophant. Don't mind me. I'm just here disassociating. 10 of Wheels. 6 of Wands. Thinking about a better time. And victory. Yep. 4 of Wands. Stability. Magician. Things happening out of thin air. And the Star. Deep healing. Don't mind me. I'm just disassociating. Goodness. Thank you, Spirit. Golly, that's hot. Okay. All right, check the viewfinder, make sure everything is as it should be. No, not quite. There we go. Titles. Yes, and you have space. And you have space over here. All right, yeah. And you have room. Let's not forget that. Got plenty of room. And you've got room up here. Look at that. Aww. Doesn't even have to be that tight. All right, Aditi. All right, so what I'm seeing here, there's a lot of woulds and shoulds going on, and let me just say that woulds and shoulds coulda, shoulda in your walk. They're either excuses. They're just not. Those are things that you want to avoid in your walk, right? It's like at a very basic level, there shouldn't be any regrets, no regrets, not even one letter, because that's your credo. There's this this school of thought that says, whew, and it's not, let's get it together. All right, don't mind me, I'm just disassociating with the Hierophant and the rules and the way that things should be. The way that things should be are the way that they are. Okay. There are rules, and you are going to govern yourself by rules, but the rules of man are very different from the natural law of things. And if you're going to follow a rule book, Hierophant, instead of focusing on the laws of men, I encourage and challenge you to study the natural laws instead. and use those as the guidebook for the rules, as opposed to the rules that are laid out by someone who is not you, who doesn't know what you're going through, right? So you've got 10 of Wheels and 6 of Wands. Part of this is, I should be in a better station by now. Listen, again, you are where you are, and that's exactly where you were supposed to be, because that's how it was mapped out, ma'am, sir. And on top of that, you had a lot of adversity that you fought through. So for you to even be in this space, this disassociating, yeah, don't mind me, I'm disassociating. All right, so maybe wrapped up with how you think things should be by now, but the thing is, you're actually where you need to be, right? You had to go through those tough times to appreciate the good times that are forthcoming, because good times are actually in the cards for you, right? So is a stable foundation. You may have been dealing with or having challenges with your stability recently, learning how to build yourself back up from a major loss. And with this 4 of Wands here, like you're actually like working on it. And you've got the Magician and the Star, which is like miracles and healing, in a word. But like these miracles, it's going to seem like miracles to everyone else, but it's you actually working with the tools, gathering and working with the tools that you have collected as you were studying the rules, Hierophant. Okay. All right. I see it. And actually, both of these characters have their arms kind of like out, as does the Star too, actually, which is pretty interesting. Let me see this 10 of Pentacles real quick. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, you've got, so yes, it looks like it's, oh my gosh, it happened out of thin air. Oh my gosh, they're an overnight celebrity. Oh, they just, wow, it's just a, no, this is just a culmination of hard work and concentrated study, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the way it is. And then you've got the Star right behind the Magician. So there were challenges that you have been called to overcome, and you overcame those challenges, Star. And now that you're on the other side of that, you actually have time to disassociate. But the disassociation is part of the healing process. It's just kind of giving the brain a break because it's been through the ringer. Yeah. And so all of the things that you had lost are being restored to you because it was written. Restoration, baby, with the Empress, like I said. While you are disassociating, just know that your thoughts materialize quickly these days. Quickly, I say. So be mindful of what you're thinking when you're not thinking. Okay? 10 of Swords, because it's very easy to get wrapped up again in the woulda shouldas, and you've already had enough of that heaped onto you by people who weren't gonna do, that just refused to do. That's already been projected onto you. There's no sense in you adding to that. You feel me? Seven of Cups, because you're about to have a lot of options. When you are the Magician, even the laws of physics don't mean anything anymore. They just don't. And I know I talked about earlier about if you're going to follow a rule book, you go with the natural law as opposed to the written law. And yeah, well, that's great, but like the study of physics and how it's not as cut and dry as one would think. Okay? Just saying. There are a lot of options out here for you. A lot. And some options are going to be available only for a limited time. So, take that. When you see some of these opportunities, just act on them, okay? Be sure to act on them. Three of Wheels, because you're building something here. There's something here that's going to be larger than what you can actually conceive. Because we base our opinions, and we base our opinions on what we've already experienced. And if you have had an extended period of lack and struggle and not having enough, when you talk about building, you really just want to like build to be at like ground zero. You're not talking about building above ground. You're just trying to fill in the hole. So this Three of Pentacles, you know, and kind of taking these opportunities when they come up, because they are so short term, it seems like it's just a small thing, but the small things add up very quickly. Strength. Yeah, these small things add up very quickly. There's some consistency that you're going to be called to do while you are taking advantage of these things and also checking your options, right? These are options that you have created in your heart space. You're in this Empress energy. So instead of focusing all of this raw power on what you don't have, focus on what you do have and what the possibilities are, and know that the possibilities that you are able to wrap your brain around pale in comparison to what is actually for you, because you've been in this limited space as long as you have. Stay constant. Justice. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So a lot of us have gone through that stage in our life where we just felt forgotten by source. Forgotten. Some of these promises are taking a real long time to come on in. What I'm seeing in this Justice card is that, yes, it has been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. I apologize. Oh, baby, I do. Let me, number one, recalibrate and put you at level. And then on top of that, go ahead and give you the things that were promised to you. because Source promised them to you. It's a lot of things out of whack right now that are being adjusted, and understand that Spirit is looking at you in particular and saying, yep, they've been real patient while all this shit has been happening. It's not even tomfoolery. It is pure shit that was happening over here. Yeah. And then we've got the devil right after that. Yep, pure shit we've been dealing with. Like, last time we got together, I kind of touched on the story of Job. And for those that do not know the story, basically God and the devil having a conversation, and the devil told God, he was like, you know, you got these people hosed. They just praise you because, you know, they just praise you because they praise you. He was like, hey man, just test anybody. Test anybody. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna take Job. You like him. He's got a big family. Money's long. Hold on. He's got a big family. Money's long. You know, he gives you all this glory, but that's because, you know, like, he's straight. He's more than straight, right? Let's just say, like, Job was like a multi-millionaire. Like, he ain't have to worry about money. Period. Right? Get devil told God, he's like, you know what? You let me get my hands on him, I'll make him curse you to your face. He's like, that's a bet. Go for it. So the devil came in, stripped Job of everything: his health, his wealth, his family, all these things. And Job was just thankful to have the breath to be able to praise God when it was all said and done. And then once that trial was done, Job was exceedingly blessed for keeping the faith, staying the course, and staying consistent. Okay? There are going to be trials, especially when shit gets right. Baby. Yeah. Devil gonna come in and try and get some of that. That Biggie Smalls thing, more money, more problems. Oh yeah. Yeah, devil comes in for that. Eight of Wands. The messages. The travel. The news about travel. Rumors. Conversations in secret rooms. That's a thing. Your name is being brought up in rooms that you've never been. You'll hear about it though. Someone's discussing you and how well you're doing. Yeah. Three of Wands, you've been standing here a long, long time, waiting on your reward. And the reward is coming, if it is not here already. Remembering to stay the course and stand 10 toes down. If you have been instructed to stand still, then do that. If you have been instructed to move, do that. Because everyone has to stop and go in their own time. But even with that, everyone has a purpose. Two of Cups. That's new love, new emotional content. When the cell splits in two. For those who are looking for romantic love, this is a really good indicator that it's actually on its way in. For those who are not, it doesn't have to be romantic love. It could be a friendship. It could be a closeness with a family member. It could be, it's just, even when you're single, you still know how to love properly. And this is a new relationship. It's going to provide a space for you to be able to pour actual love into and then have it return to you. It's not about you giving all the time and not getting anything back, okay? This is being equally yoked for the long haul. The Hangman. Yeah, you can't just walk around and be like, nah, man, love ain't for me. Nobody's gonna love me. No. It's not how this works. Like, sure, it's nice to, be by yourself and hear what the voices in your head, hear what your conscious actually sounds like. Sure. But we are a social species. We need each other. And if you feel like you can just do it on your own, you are kidding yourself. We need each other. And so looking at this with a different perspective and understanding that, no man is an island at all. And there are some people out there who aren't worth a hill of beans sometimes. But God loved them enough to create them and put them out here, so there has to be some redeeming quality somewhere. Just kind of take a different approach. If you are that closed off to love, take a different approach to it. And also make sure that you're actually talking with someone and making sure that everything is kosher there. Because a lot of times this whole reluctance to love and having that visceral feeling about love itself, it's usually a direct result of being hurt deeply. So make sure that you're actually not only looking at it from all of the other angles. If you actually need assistance in that, please get it. All right, Two of Wheels. Juggling, having one foot in the air and the other foot on the ground. The same way that this atom is breaking into two, this is like you moving into a different tax bracket. Two of Pentacles. There's a level of thinking that you didn't have to be bothered with before that will now be a new permanent fixture in your life. Ace of Wands. Passion. Action. Decided action at that. Yeah. Taking charge and making a move. It's one thing to take charge and just like bark at everybody. It's a whole nother ball game when you actually do the thing. This is having the courage to do the thing. Ooh, with the Ten of Wands. All right. So being in this new tax bracket and actually taking the steps to move into said tax bracket, it will seem like a daunting task. You may or may not ever get used to this, right? But you're going to be stronger for it, and your life will most assuredly be enriched by having the mental capacity to be able to balance this as well as enough fire in your heart to be able to move forward and like move in it. Okay. It's almost like boot camp in a sense. And I know that, no, I don't know that actually, because I don't know all of you personally. Okay. If you have gone through a dark night of the soul, this is that push to, after you have gone through it, to come out of it and release what needs to be released. There's a message here. Yeah. All right. Page of Swords, Seven of Swords, and Nine of Wands to round us out. Okay. So the balancing and the moving forward, difficult, yes. You will be stronger as a result. Absolutely. All right, so you've got the Page of Swords, who is watching all of these transformations that have been happening and taking copious notes on, this is what we were doing, this is how we were feeling, and this is the result. So 2 of the 3 have already revealed themselves. Now the $64,000 question is, what are you going to do with this information? What are you going to do? Because we've got, oh wow, 28, either 28 days or 28 years, but we're going to be in this, there's a state of mind in here that is going to be a constant for the next 28 years. Which may be why you've been looking back on the past. You may already know this. Why you may be looking back on the past and seeing what you were doing all of those years ago, and then make adjustments as necessary. All right. With the Seven of Swords here, again, your name is being discussed in places you will never be. It's like the fancy tent that the general has when they're out in the field at war, right? Speaking of war, rounding us out is the Nine of Wands, and that is the Wounded Warrior card. This is that final push before the second wind kicks in. All right. That's when you know you're really doing the thing, because now you feel like the world is yours instead of being overwhelmed by thoughts, words, and deeds that don't concern you at all. It's set up in like this defensive position, which actually makes a lot of sense, especially when I was just bringing up like being reluctant to receive love in your life. Like all I saw was just like shit, just the perimeter has been set, right? And it's because you've taken a lot of shots to the dome. Get it? You know, you want to protect yourself. Just be sure that in this protection that you are not isolating yourself as well, because you can have constant conversation with God and still acknowledge your fellow man in the street. It may take a time or two to get used to the rhythm, but I promise you, if you actually work at it, you will. But right now, it's giving that push before the second wind. Just setting them all up and giving yourself an opportunity to kind of nurse your wounds before you go right back out there. So yeah, being in this headspace and this headspace and even this headspace, I could see why there's this call to heavily disassociate. Just know that you actually have things to do. So don't let all this get you down while you're disassociating. All right, thank you for taking the time to hang out with me today. And until we meet again, remember to be good to yourselves and to each other, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.